Hey guys, I'm Angela and you're watching Runway Done My Way. Today's episode, I'm going to show you how to add some character to your basic boot or bag by adding a little fringe. Let's get started. Ingredient time. You will need an ultra suede fabric basic boot. You can get this at Zappos for $40 or $50 or a site called gojane.com. Also a pair of sharp fabric scissors, as well as needle nose pliers. This is going to help you push the suede through the holes that we're going to create. Then you'll need a scrap piece of fabric, ultra suede, which you can pick up at any fabric store. They always have like a scrap bin, so you can get a piece for like 25, 30 bucks. And then my vegan fashionistas, I've done this same project with felt. It's not as heavy as the suede, but it does work and it looks just as cute. And then the needle and thread is going to be for an option, so this is not needed if you just want to add fringe. And then last but not least, this is the trim I'm going to add, and this is where the needle and thread would come in. Alrighty, let's get started. Okay, so once you have your scrap piece of fabric, you're going to cut it down into little tiny strips like this. It's a little time consuming, so you have to be patient. The strips do not have to be perfect, you guys. Just, make sure that they're pretty thin. And then we're going to take our scissors, and there's a seam up the back of the boot, so you want to cut on the right and left side 2 little tiny holes. You don't want them to be too big so that they're not, hanging or like pulling out. So just do like a little tiny snip. The first 2 are kind of difficult, but then you get the hang of it and the project goes really, really fast. See, so you can see about the size of the hole there. And then you are just going to take your suede and you're going to push it through. And you can use these needle nose pliers to help push it through. Usually I have nails and my nails can push it through, but right now I don't. So I kind of am using these to help me push it through. But it's not that difficult, so if you don't need them, you don't need them. And you just want to make sure the back of the strip is like a shoelace. You want it to be flat. You don't want it to be twisted in the back because you want it to lay as flat as possible so it's not uncomfortable when you put it on. And that's pretty much all you have to do. See, the first 2, like I said, are a pain in the butt, but then you'll blaze right through this. And then you just pull it through and then pull them even. And it's as easy as that. We have our first fringe piece. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few more for you guys. Cut it on the right side, cut it on the left side. And the seam works as a great border. So it's awesome that we have that. So you can't really mess up this project at all. Like as far as symmetry goes, it's going to be even if you just go on either side of the seam. And then weave it through, push it through. You can use a pencil. I mean, there's a lot of things you can use to push it through. You don't have to have needle nose pliers. You can use the end of a makeup brush. But it should go through pretty easy. So, and there's the first 2. All right. The only thing I will say is you want really sharp scissors. My fabric scissors, I don't use for cutting anything except for fabric projects. The minute you start cutting paper or pictures, it just dulls the blade and it makes these type of projects not as easy. So you want super, super sharp scissors. Also, dull scissors always make like messy holes. And your fingertips are going to get black if you notice like my fingers start turning black just from, playing with the suede and pushing it through. Okay, yeah, there's those. There's the first 3. We'll be trimming these, so don't worry about how long they are right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more for you guys to see, and then I'm going to finish it up, and then I will be back in a few moments. Okay, so I am just about done here. I just wanted to do the last few so you guys can see one more time. It took about, it actually didn't take that long. It took about 25 minutes probably for me to do the whole boot. So I don't want you to think this is a project that's going to take a really long time. And you can do this to ankle boots, you can do this to thigh boots, to bags. If you have a really basic suede bag or even just any type of fabric bag, you would do it the same exact way. Just punch like 2 little holes next to each other and then weave the suede through. I did a bag, I'll show you guys at the end of this. And I also did another pair of boots where I basically did the fringe all over the boot. It wasn't up the back, it was like around the whole front of the boot, around the side. And you just do the same thing, you make little tiny holes all over the place and then you just weave it through. You can tie a knot if you want. You could play around and do different things. But for the back, you don't need to do any knots or anything. So just leave it plain like this in the back. But the one where I did it all over the boot, I ended up tying off like a little knot. I'll show you guys that too. So for now, my other boot is already done and waiting. The next part on this, like I said, it's not required. It's just an option. So if you don't add the trim like I'm going to do, then your project is done as soon as you finish doing the fringe. Okay, cool. So that looks good. But like I said, it's a little bit long. You can keep, actually, it's, it's totally up to you. You can keep it long or you can cut it short. I'm going to go ahead and just spread this out a little bit. And then I'm going to trim it. And you don't really want to trim it too even because then it looks funny. So I would just go in and just trim it at different angles. Yeah, okay. And if you wanted to, you can go in and trim every single suede tip at an angle because when it's cornered, it always looks better. Maybe I'll do that later, but I'm not going to do that right now on camera. That would take forever. So I'm just going in and trimming off the ones, kind of like giving it a little haircut. Okay, cool. Sweep all that out of the way. All right, guys, so we are done adding the fringe to both boots. This is what it looks like. So I like to get inspired by my favorite designers, and these were inspired by Gianmarco Lorenzi, one of my favorite shoemakers. This is how his boot looks, but it has a patent leather heel. So at Runway Done My Way, I like to do things my way. So what I did was I took, this is with the 2 trims, they come in. I went ahead and I pinned this trim along the top of the boot. It's going to give it more of a bohemian feel. And then I just want to show you this option as well. Let me pin it on real fast and I'll show you what it looks like. And I actually really like the jeweled option. I just didn't think I was going to, so I only bought one. So just to finish the project, I'm going to go ahead and sew on the crochet looking trim instead. But this is really pretty too. So, oops. Hold on one second. Hold on one sec. Pin that on. Okay, so, or it would be like a jewel on the front and then the fringe on the back. So, either one, or you could just leave them plain, it's totally up to you. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and sew this one on. So, you're going to need to get your needle and thread now, and let's start sewing. Okay. You could use fabric glue or E6000 glue here if you want to. If you do use E6000 glue, use it very sparsely because with any lace or crochet trim, it's going to, squeeze through the sides and you don't want to see the dry, shiny glue on the boot. You want it to look as expensive as possible. All right, and up next, I just want to show you a little sneak peek at a bag I made using the same exact technique. You cut 2 little holes in the fabric and then you thread the suede strips through. You're gonna have to do several of them to get the look, but it's worth it. It turns out really, really cute. Okay, so take a peek at that. And then I am gonna put these boots on and show you guys how they look. I hope you enjoyed today's project. And until next time, stay fashion fabulous, exclusively at Runway Done My Way.